Hi everyone, I just wanted to do a brief review of Moto's 360 and comparing it with the LGR. The reason for doing that is because I just recently decided that I wanted a smartwatch to see what they do and how they work and that type of thing. So about a week ago I went and bought this Moto 360. Initially I was impressed with it and I enjoyed it very much and so on, but then after a day or so with it, then I thought more about it, and then I figured that it really didn't look too great. And thus, I went and actually ordered an LGR all the way from Korea because they were not available at that point here in the United States. To me, it didn't really impress too much. Maybe it's just my taste and so on, the shape of it and the color and that type of stuff with it, especially the band here. So then later in a day or so, then I went and actually ordered this from Hong Kong, and it was just delivered yesterday. So maybe it's a little too early to compare the two together, but at this point I'm still sticking with the LGR here. As far as functionality, they are pretty much both the same functionality. They both do the same thing, connect to an Android device and access the alerts. You can access the different apps that you install in there and so on. So basically, as far as functionality, they are pretty much the same. Now the reason why I like this one, and maybe it's just me, is that it looks more like a traditional watch. Like if you go to a meeting or you go in public somewhere and so on, it doesn't seem like this some other type of device that you're just completely different. And maybe some like it that way. So the other thing that I liked about it is that just first the design, secondly even the band here, it looks more leathery. This one from the LG looks more like real leather. So that's another feature of it. Another option here is that the LG has a bigger battery. So for the past week when I was using the Moto 360, I was getting probably around 25% by 6 o'clock in the evening with some light use. I mean, not heavy duty use. The LGR here, it has a larger battery, and right now it's about, as you can see, about 12:30. It still has 81% of the battery. So it should get me through the day just fine, and this is basically the second day that I'm using this device. The other thing that is noticeable here is that the Moto 360 actually has a larger screen, as you can probably notice here, in a thinner bezel. And I usually don't really like the thick bezels here, but to me this looks like a sharper design, the LGR. And the other thing that I find interesting is that it's more greater chances of scratching the screen here on the 360 than the LGR, because the glass, the actual glass, is lower than the edges. That could be your preference, whether you like it thicker or you know, raised or lower there, but that's, I see it as an advantage at this point. So overall, they're basically great devices. The Moto 360, it looks like more of a modern watch, and maybe it's not my taste, but that's what it looks like. And I find that the Moto 360, it was easier to get it charging. You just let it sit on the cradle and it just charges. The LGR, it seems like it's, you still have to sit in its cradle. You don't have to plug necessarily anything. It seems to be magnetic, and I don't have the charger thingy with me at this time as I'm recording this video. But basically, it's charging, it's a little easier with the 360. So the verdict at this point is that I'm going to stick with the LGR. I like it because it's the design looks sharper, in my opinion. It has longer battery, higher DPI for the resolution. It also, the other feature that I find interesting here is that while the Moto 360 by default it goes to black when you're not using it unless you enable the ambient feature, the LGR does not have exactly the same feature, but it's always on. Something, it's telling you the time and the alerts and so on, so that it's on. Then if you tap it or shake it or move it or something, then it comes back on to whatever your design for the watch is. Of course, both of them, as we know, you can change the design to pick something else. So for example, we can put this one and make it a Rolex. So just thought somebody who might be considering these devices might find this helpful. I'm not sure how helpful it might be to somebody, but at least this is what I found, and like I said, I find that this is more like a quality and fancier, regular, similar to a regular watch, but with fancy and smart features. So that's it. If you have questions or comments, feel free to post them at the bottom of this video. Also, this is basically a fully independent review. I don't have any interest in either one of them or any benefits from either one of the companies here, so it's just my preference. Thank you for watching.